Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, Chapter 14, Recipe for Wonka-Vit. Here it is, cried Mr. Wonka, standing at the end of the bed and holding high in one hand a little bottle, the most valuable bottle of pills in the world. And that, by the way, he said, giving Grandma Georgina a saucy glance, is why I haven't taken any myself. They are far too valuable to waste on me. He held the bottle out over the bed. The three old ones sat up and stretched their scrawny necks, trying to catch a glimpse of the pills inside. Charlie and Grandpa Joe also came forward to look. So did Mr. and Mrs. Bucket. The label said, Wonka-Vit. Each pill will make you younger by exactly 20 years. Caution. Do not take more than the amount recommended by Mr. Wonka. They could all see the pills through the glass. They were a brilliant yellow, shimmering and quivering inside the bottle. Vibrating is perhaps a better word. They were vibrating so rapidly that each pill became a blur. You couldn't see its shape. You could only see its color. You got the impression that there was something very small but incredibly powerful, something not quite of this world, locked up inside them and fighting to get out. They're wriggling, said Grandma Georgina. I don't like things that wriggle. How do you know that they won't go on wriggling inside us after we've swallowed them? Like those Mexican jumping beans of Charlie's I swallowed a couple of years back. You remember that, Charlie. I told you not to eat them, Grandma. They went on jumping inside me for about a month, Grandma Georgina said. I couldn't sit still. If I'm going to eat one of those pills, I sure as heck would want to know what's in it first, said Grandma Josephine. I don't blame you, said Mr. Wonka, but the recipe is extremely complicated. Wait a minute, I've got it written down somewhere. He started digging around in the pockets of his coattails. I know it's in here somewhere, he said. I couldn't have lost it. I keep all my most valuable and important things in these pockets. The trouble is, there's such a lot of them. He started emptying the pockets and placing the contents on the bed. A homemade catapult, a yo-yo, a chick fried egg made of rubber, a slice of salami, a tooth with a filling in it, a stink bomb, a packet of itching powder. It must be here. It must be. It must, he kept muttering. I put it away so carefully. Ah, here it is. He unfolded a crumpled piece of paper, smoothed it out, held it up, and began to read as follows. Recipe for making Wonka-Vit. Take a block of the finest chocolate weighing 1 ton, or 20 sacks full of broken chocolate, whichever is easier. Place chocolate in very large cauldron and melt over red-hot furnace. When melted, lower slightly as not to burn the chocolate, but keep it boiling. Now, add in the following, in precisely the order given, stirring well all the time, and allowing each item to dissolve before adding the next. The hoof of a manticore, the trunk and the suitcase of an elephant, the yolks of 3 eggs from a wiffle bird, a wart from a warthog, the horn of a cow, it must be a loud horn, the front tail of a cockatrice, 6 ounces of sponge from a young slime scraper, 2 hares and 1 rabbit from the head of a hippocampus, the beak of a red-breasted albatross, a corn from the toe of a unicorn, 4 tentacles from a quadrupus, the hip and the paw and the pot of a hippopotamus, the snout of a prog hopper, a mole from a mole, the hide and the seek of a spotted whangdoodle, the whites of 12 eggs from a tree squeak, the 3 feet of snozwanger. If you can't get 3 feet, 1 yard will do. The square root of a South American abacus. The fangs of a viper. It must be a windshield viper. The chest and the drawers of a wild grouse. When all of the above are thoroughly dissolved, boil for a further 27 days, but do not stir. At the end of this time, all liquid will have evaporated, and there will be left in the bottom of the cauldron only a hard brown lump about the size of a football field. Break this open with a hammer, and in the very center of it, you will find a small round pill. This pill is a Wonka-Vit.